Oregon Trail was a 2,000-mile journey which many families traveled upon to get to the great American West. Places we know today as Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, Idaho, and Utah would probably not exist today if it weren't for the people who traveled west using the Oregon Trail. Starting in the year 1853 and lasting for 25 years, over 50,000 pioneers made the journey by way of the Oregon Trail. This was a difficult journey in which 1 in every 10 people who started it ended up dying. So, why did people want to go on the Oregon Trail? The answer is that many people believed the West would provide a new and better life for them. Many of the people had heard there was great farmland and riches like gold and silver to be found in the West. Also, many people lived in towns in the East that were overcrowded and they just wanted to have some space of their own. With this hope of a new life, many people began the journey across the Oregon Trail from the starting point of Independence, Missouri. Before the pioneers could get on their way, though, they had to make sure they had enough supplies. The most important thing that the pioneers needed to purchase was a covered wagon. The pioneers traveled in a wagon called a covered wagon. The wagon was usually a wooden wagon made of hickory, oak, or maple. A wooden piece made from hickory stuck out from the front of the wagon. This piece, called a tongue, was connected to the yoke of the oxen, mules, or horses. The wagon could not carry more than 2,000 pounds. It had big wooden hoops, called bows, that were bent from side to side. There would be 4 to 7 wooden hoops on one wagon. There was a canvas pulled across the hoops that would keep out the rain, wind, and the hot sunshine. Pioneers would rub oil on the canvas to make it waterproof. Inside the wagon, there were many hooks that hung from the wooden hoops. They could hang weapons, clothes, milk cans, and anything there was room for. The front wheels of the wagon were smaller than the back wheels. This helped the wagon turn. Underneath the back wheels, there was a bucket full of grease hanging from the axle. This was used to make the wheels run smoothly. The Conestoga wagons were called prairie schooners because from a distance, the Conestoga wagon looked like a ship sailing slowly across the green prairie. Along with the wagon, some other supplies that the pioneers needed were foods such as yeast for baking, cornmeal, crackers, bacon, eggs, dried meat, potatoes, rice, beans, and a big barrel of water. They also needed to buy cloth to sew, needles, thread, pins, and scissors because they had to make their own clothing along the way. They also brought leather to fix worn-out shoes because much of the traveling, although they had a wagon, was still done by walking. They also brought along tools like saws, hammers, axes, nails, string, and knives, as they had to do all of their own repairs. After the pioneers had purchased all of their supplies, they were ready to begin their journey. I'm sure many of them had no idea the difficulties they would face along the way.